Okay, read. We finished the English. Yeah. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, just to bring you up to speed, how far we are. Okay, I never announced it here. Let's put it on. Let me just put it on the chat quickly there. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So what we discussed thus far was this, that Allah Ta'ala sent the whole, briefly the whole, what we discussed. First, the Coptic Fir'aun and his people, they subjugated Bani Israel, they were abusing them, abusing them, imposing their religion upon them, etc., etc. Then Musa alayhi salam came and he called Fir'aun and his people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the release of the Bani Israel. So he asked, what is your sign? He brought a sign. Then Fir'aun didn't want to accept. Then he said, okay, we're going to call all the magicians. They called all the magicians came, and again Musa alayhi salam vanquished them. He still didn't want to accept. Then Allah Ta'ala sent several punishments in the hope that they will turn. In this dunya also, Allah Ta'ala sent tests. Allah Ta'ala sent difficulty on a person in the hope that that person will turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Still, when they were in the grubs, experiencing the difficulty, then they went to Musa and said, we're going to believe, etc., etc. But the moment the difficulty was removed, the difficulty was alleviated, they were back to their own shenanigans. They were back to their own tricks again. So now, when it was clear that these people, Allah Ta'ala do not just destroy people without giving them several warnings. Allah Ta'ala do not just destroy people without giving them several warnings. Right? So, Allah Ta'ala gives several warnings first. Allah Ta'ala gives several warnings first. Even in this dunya today, a person Allah Ta'ala don't just punish. If a person is wayward, a person is doing the wrong thing. There's one interesting incident once, a person got caught doing something wrong. So when he came to Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he pleaded, he said, "Ya, please forgive me. This is the first time I've been doing this." He said, without knowledge, I'll tell you, it can never be the first time. I don't have any record of your history or anything. I don't have any record of your history, but I can tell you emphatically, it's not the first time. Because Allah Ta'ala do not take you to task on the first time. It must have happened several times that you have get caught. So same thing, Allah Ta'ala sends how many signs Allah Ta'ala sends. And only when it was clear that these people, they've got no intention. They are only out to make jokes. They're only out to, to get the punishment removed from them. They're not serious about turning towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah Ta'ala decide now it's the time for the destruction. He instructs Musa alayhi salam and the Bani Israel to leave at night time. They left. And when Fir'aun and his people heard that they left, they were hot on the heels. Allah Ta'ala parted the ocean. There's another miracle again. See how many miracles happened at the end of Musa alayhi salam. The first one was Yadai Balda, remember his hand and the stick. And then it was with all the magicians. And then it was the signs, the Kummala, Difar, and here's another one again, right? So we're going to do today the next one. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Read it. وَجَاوَزْنَا بِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ الْبَحْرَ. That's what we have to do today, eh? Never finish. Okay, read from where we're doing. Oh, yeah. Come closer, I can hear you. Yeah. So Allah Ta'ala says, كم تركوا من جنات وعيون وزروع ومقام كريم ونعمة كانوا فيها فاكهين. How much did they leave from the gardens, وعيون, from the springs, وزروع, the crops, and noble, lofty places, ونعمة, and favors, كانوا فيها فاكهين, they were enjoying it. So one day you are in charge, one day you are enjoying everything, but next minute you are gone, you are destroyed. The next minute Allah Ta'ala takes your life away. You like that's why the word wa'awrathna, Allah Ta'ala use it word. Wirathat means something that goes from generation to generation to generation. So the things of the dunya, it goes from generation to generation. It is not yours for to keep. It is not yours to keep. It's mentioned. There's an interesting incident. There was a person, like you can say, like a Sufi. He went to the palace. He went to the palace, the royal palace where the king was, and he asked, who was in charge of this hotel? In previous words, it's word inn. Not like a holiday inn. Who's in charge of the inn? So the people say, are you mad? This is not a holiday inn. This is not a guest house. This is not a travelers. Don't you see? This is a palace. This is a palace. The king is here. This place belongs to him. He's in charge here. Are you crazy? You're saying this is an inn. You say, what do you mean it's inn? I came here 20 years ago and I saw a different king here. And I came again, and 20 years before that again, I saw a different king here. So I just see people coming and going. I see people coming and going. And in a guest house where people come and go and people come and go. So I don't know what you're talking about palace. All I know is that this dunya is a place where you come for a little while, you interact with some goods of this world, you look after it, you enjoy it, but you leave it. Only thing that you take with you is your a'mal. The only thing you take with you is your a'mal. The same thing Allah Ta'ala uses. وَأَوْرَثْنَا Wirasat means it goes from generation to generation. Today it's with you, tomorrow it's with somebody else. The same thing here. These people, they left everything. كَذَلِكَ وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْرَثْنَا قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ. And like that, we gave it to another people. Once the Coptics, once the people of Fir'aun were expelled and removed from there, what happened? What happened after that? It went to the Bani Israel. Carry on. وَكَذَلِكَ أَوْرَثْنَا قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ. Al-Hasan al-Basri, right? مشارق الأرض ومغاربها يعني الشام. So this we made new people in charge of it, right? قولوا وتمت كلمة ربك الحسنى على بني إسرائيل. كلمة ربك الحسنى is a nice تركيب. كلمة مضاف ربك مضاف إليه, which we become the مضاف إليه of it, and that becomes the موصوف, and حسنى becomes the صفة, right? So because you can see tammat is feminine, so husna is feminine. It is alif maqsura, right? It's over and above the three letters. So alif maqsura besides the three letters, alamat to ta'nif. Are you with me? So watammat kalimatu rabbika husna. So the beautiful word has been completed on the Bani Israel. In other words, their mission has been accomplished. Why? Bima sabaru. Because of the patience, the exercise, because they put their trust in Allah Ta'ala. Carry on.
قال مجاهد يقول تعالى أو تريد أن ندل على الذين في الأرض نجعلهم.
Yeah. So Mujahid said, what is the kalimatul husna? Kalimatul rabbika al husna. What is kalimatul rabbika al husna? Kalimatul rabbika al husna is this. قال Mujahid, ويقول تعالى ونريد, and we wish that we will favor upon the ones that favor is that the husna is that favor Allah Ta'ala done on the Bani Israel, that empowered them. He removed the Coptics and put them in power, right? ونريد أن نمن على رسول في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة, and we will make them leaders. ونجعلهم الوارثين, we'll make them the heirs, right? ونمكن لهم في الأرض, and we will empower them. مكن يمكن means if they empower in the earth. And ayah. Then Allah says also, this also is the kalimat husna. They explain what is the kalimat husna. The kalimat husna is that Allah Ta'ala removed the Coptics, destroyed them. وَدَمَّرْنَا مَا كَانَ يَصْنَعُ فِرْعَوْنُ وَقَوْمُهُ. We destroyed what Fir'aun, the kingdom, the buildings, the sultanate. What you doing? أي وخرجنا ما كان فرعون وقومه يصنعون من الإمارات والمزارع, and we removed what Fir'aun was doing from the high buildings and the farming. وما كانوا يعرشون, and that which they were building. Right, read the next verse. Yeah.
على أصنام الليل قالوا يا موسى اجعل لنا إلها كما آلهة قال إنكم
قوم تجهلون إن هؤلاء متبر ما هم فيه وباطل ما كانوا يعملون. Interesting, very interesting. So now they crossed the ocean, right? Then, and we made the children of Israel cross the sea. What, right? They were successful. They successfully crossed, right? they came across a people sitting in devotion before the idols. They saw people worshipping the idols. They, the Israelites, said, "Oh Musa, make a god for us like they have gods." He said, "You are really an ignorant people." So maybe they didn't want to go to idolatry, but they thought like, we don't see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We worship Allah ta'ala. So we must have a representative of Allah ta'ala on the dunya, the idol. So when we worship the idol, maybe we're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they thought it a good idea. So they were open to something which was foreign and strange in their religion. So after the miraculous victory of the Israelites over Fir'aun and his people, and having a life of peace and comfort, they started to show the side of ignorance as people of wealth, showing even a life of luxury and opulence. So yeah, this is the common universal trend generally. Illa masha'Allah. Generally, when people are blessed with wealth, when they are blessed with power, they become insolent. They become arrogant. They don't want to be told anything. They want to engage in the disobedience of Allah Ta'ala. So same thing, they were now granted dominion of the land. They were in charge of the lands. So now they were starting to become misguided. The first important request they made to the Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, to make for them a god like the gods of the people they saw away. The Israelites said, Ya Musa, ij'al lana ilahan. Oh Musa, make for us a god like their gods. Come here, make for us a god like their gods. The Prophet Musa was greatly annoyed. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam was greatly annoyed by the ignorance and said that the labor of worship of those people was to go to waste. So Musa said, you got Allah, you got the great Allah Ta'ala that you worship. Why are you interested in? Like you got, for example, you got gold in front of you, and here you got feces, you got sewage. You as a person of knowledge, you can see that this is gold and this is feces. You say this person wants to go to the feces, he wants to leave the gold, subhanAllah. The Prophet Musa was greatly annoyed by the ignorance and said that the labor of worship of those people was to go to waste. These people that want to worship idols, this is a exercise in futility. It will not benefit them in any way. How could you think of making for them a God other than Allah, while He has given to them excellence of the people of the world? Allah Ta'ala has given you dominion. Allah Ta'ala has blessed you with everything. He's granted you the good worship, the good fortune of worshipping one Allah. And now you want to go to the fault of worshipping useless idols. That is the people who believe in Prophet Musa was superior to the people of the age. That Allah Ta'ala blessed them, Allah Ta'ala forgave them. They themselves were deluded. That's why they said, نَحْنُ أَبْنَاءُ اللَّهِ وَأَحِبَّاؤُهُ. We are the children of Allah Ta'ala and we are His beloved. And in another verse, they will say that even if we done something wrong, we will not be punished, but except for a short time. We will not be punished except. So the next verses remind them of their pitiable condition and their persecutions at the hand of Fir'aun when the sons were killed and their daughters were saved to serve them as maid servants. So now Allah Ta'ala reminds them, Allah Ta'ala remind them that don't let this current condition of opulence go to your brain and delude you and what you call it and mislead you. Remember, you were persecuted the other day. There is an interesting incident of Umar alayhi salam, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. I think, I don't know if he stood on a mimbar or something after he became Khalifa. And he said, he addressed himself. I didn't say it on a mimbar, or he was just saying, Umar, remember where you come from. You are a shepherd. The other day you were a shepherd. You were tending to the people's goats and sheep for a few rands. So never forget where you come from. So what I'm saying, you must remember Allah Ta'ala's favor upon you. You must remember your roots. Remember where you came from. Do not be fooled by your current condition. You are rich, you are wealthy. Now Allah Ta'ala has blessed you with knowledge. Now you're looking down upon other people. You see somebody doing something totally incorrect, say, yeah, those people, how can they do such a thing? They're so ignorant. But you don't realize before Allah Ta'ala blessed you with knowledge, before Allah Ta'ala exposed you to the Quran and Hadith, you were same like that people. So you got no reason to look down upon anybody. So the next verses remind him of their pitiable condition and the persecutions at the hands of Fir'aun when their sons were killed and their daughters were saved to serve them, so as maidservants. So Fir'aun would kill the men and the boys, and he would keep the women so they could serve them in various ways. Allah Ta'ala relieved them from this disgraceful chastisement through his prophets. So Musa alayhi salam, he's the one that stood up against Fir'aun. That's why it says, أفضل الجهاد كلمة حق عند سلطان جائر. That the best jihad is to pronounce a word of truth in front of a tyrannical, in front of an oppressive ruler. And this is what Musa alayhi salam said, Arsil ma'ya bani Israel. You've enslaved these people, you've abused them, send them with us. Allah Ta'ala relieved them for them of this disgraceful chastisement through his prophet. Shall they be as ungrateful to Lord as to take the abject stones as gods and make them partners to Allah Ta'ala? They must repent to Allah Ta'ala for this transgression. So Allah Ta'ala relieved them. Allah Ta'ala took them out of this disgrace. Is this the way they're going to repay Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Definitely not. So Allah Ta'ala says, Inna ha'ula inna ha'ulai mutabbarum ma hum fihi wa batilum ma kanu ya'malun. What these people are in is sure to be destroyed, right? What that is this idolatry, right? What these people are in is sure to be destroyed. And false is what they are doing. What they're doing is false. Right. So that brings us to that verse. Okay, read it Arabic. Yeah, maybe you can read out in quick before he comes.
يخبر تعالى عما قاله
Jahalatu. So this is another word. Remember, I was telling you, fa'alatun. Fa'alatun. Sometimes it's a jama. We've done few words. Let's just go through them to fasaqatun, fajaratun, and we've done saharatun, akalatun. Another one, jahalatun. These are all jama. All these are jama. They're very strange. It doesn't look like actually. It looks more like a ilmul masdar. If you look at the structure of it, it looks like a masdar. It looks like a masdar mimi, but it's actually a jama. It's a jama of jama mukassar, right? So jahalat will be jama of jahil. So like how you get adil, adalatun, how you get fasik, fasaqatun, how you get fajir, fajaratun. There was another one. Was that one? Yeah. Akil, akalatun. So these are all the jama. These are jama, right? يخبر تعالى أما قاله الجهلة من بني إسرائيل. Allah is informing what the ignorant from the Bani Israel said to Musa. Musa alayhi salam, حين جاوزوا البحر, carry on, when they crossed the ocean succeed. That was after they crossed the ocean and they were delivered from Fir'aun and they were having a comfortable life. Carry on.
وقد رأوا من آيات الله وعظيم سلطانه ما رأوا
Right. وقد رأوا, and they saw the great signs of Allah Ta'ala. وقد رأوا من آيات الله وعظيم, and the greatness of his dominion. So they were traveling to the lands. فَمَرُّوا عَلَى قَوْمٍ يَعْقِفُونَ عَلى أَصْ. They saw people that were holding firm. أَكَا يَعْقِفُونَ. It's also, if you go to i'tikaf, come from the same root letters. Like you hold firm. You hold firm. You stick yourself in the masjid in i'tikaf. So they were holding firm to their. They were sticking firm to their idols, right?
قال بعض المفسرين كانوا من الكنعانيين.
Right. So some كانوا من الكنعانيين, that they were from the Kanaani people. This is also, you've done a bit of this also in your qasas part 1 or 2. جاء رجل كنعاني. Can you remember? There's some story about the Kanaani. Can't remember. But anyway, this was tribes that lived in these places and in these areas, etc. So okay, Mulana is here. We'll stop. We'll continue, finish the Arabic tomorrow. Just mark it there. So this was a tribe that also lived in this area. There's some reference to this also in your qasas. I remember coming. I done it 25 years ago, and I can remember this reference. We done it 3 years ago. You can't remember. We stop there. We'll continue, inshallah. Bas.